What's up, my FY Fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. Welcome to the FY Fly podcast. My name is Hassan Thomas, aka the kid that did and the man that can, baby. And today, we're gonna be chopping up with business mindset coach, serial entrepreneur, and the host of the Attractive Mindset podcast, Darryen Richardson, aka the real MoneyBag Rich. How you,
Yes,
my
sir.
brother?
Yes,
How are
sir.
you?
I'm doing amazing, man. I'm glad to be here. I woke up this morning, thank God, and that's the most thing that I could put forward.
Yes, sir. We wake up this morning, thank God, and we get right on that grind, right on that hustle, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What I want to do first of all, I want to shout out, networking and shout out David Shands and Sleepers for Suckers for putting on that amazing podcast summit where we ended up meeting each other at. And what's crazy, we both went to the last one, didn't get to meet, but that just shows the progression, the consistency, and how God works his perfect timing, man.
Most def. Being in those rooms, networking is one of the most essential keys.
100%, man. And what we like to do here on FYI Fly is we like to skip the fluff and get right into the good stuff, man. How that sound?
Sound good to me.
I bet. So the first thing I really want to know is, were you always an entrepreneur, or was there like a turning point in your life where you were like, okay, now it's time for me to take my ideas, now it's time for me to take my business seriously?
I mean, entrepreneur, I feel like has lost its edge as a term.
Mm-hmm.
But in the place of, was I born to hustle? Maybe so. I grew up in New York, Brooklyn, New York, and so a lot of people, my OGs, the people that I looked up to, they all hustled and taught me how to just really go get it by myself, and life itself taught me how to go get it by myself. And so it might have not been for, what I would do now for business, but I've always definitely been a hustler.
Got you. So like, as far as business, as far as hustling, when you were younger, what are some of those characteristics that kind of translated that they taught you now that you're using in business?
Well, a lesson that I had to learn was the hustler had to die in order for the CEO to grow.
Hold on, talk that talk. What that mean? Elaborate on that one real quick.
Yeah, so when you spend too much of your time being a hustler, because it's easy to get into the motion of, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go get it, I'm gonna go do this, because the hustle can't be taught. You either got it or you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can lead somebody to do something, but they're either gonna execute or they're not gonna execute. And so if you're a natural born hustler, it's a lot easier to get caught up in, oh, I'm gonna go get it, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna launch this, I'm gonna sell this, I'm gonna provide this. But when you do it from that standpoint, you take away from your actual company. And so the question that you got to start asking is, do you want to be a solopreneur, or do you want to be a CEO? And so really elevating into a CEO position is not being as much of a hustler, as ironic as it sounds. You have to allow your people to take the position that you once had. And they're not going to do everything like you. And you have to be okay with that. But your company is not going to grow if you're always on the hustle.
Wow, that's actually what a lot of people need to hear, and I'm including myself in that bucket, brother, because to this day, I still love editing my own podcast. I still love just, okay, boom, we talk for an hour. I listen to the unedited episode. I write down what's fire, what's not, and I'm editing that thing down to 25, 30 minutes, and it's just straight fire. You know what I mean? So I still love personally doing that, just being a creative person. Okay, it started from here, then it went to here, and just the progress, and then seeing the final product. You know what I mean? I like seeing that. But as you said, to be able to grow, to be able to scale, I will eventually, well, really now, so how can entrepreneurs get over that, fear of, one, relinquishing control, but two, putting your mind into, a virtual assistant, editor? How have you done that successfully?
Well, somebody who articulated it in a really good format is Patrick Bet-David. I don't know if you ever read the next best move, the 5 strategies that he came up with, but he has a pyramid chart. It's 4 levels. So level 1 is survivability. This is where a lot of people are, where they literally only make money to survive. They got to pay their bills, they got to eat, they got to sustain whatever.
For
Level
sure.
two comes status. That's where they make money to now get the cars, get the clothes, go on the
Mm,
trips, do all of that type of stuff. Level three is freedom. This
mm,
is where most people get stuck. You know what I'm saying? This is where we think we've reached a certain level of where we want. And so, even in the question of asking about like financial freedom and everything like that, like
mm.
a lot of people get caught up in what financial freedom actually is. And financial freedom is mental, way more than it is dollars. And
Gotcha.
so your time means more than anything. If you look at any massive company, you're considered a small business if you have two things: less than 500 contractors or employees, or less
Mm,
than $7.6 million a year, which is a
gotcha.
lot of people. And
Facts.
so for a big corporation, Bill Gates, Amazon, Elon Musk, like all
Mm,
these people have learned how to duplicate themselves. And this is where time compounding comes in, because you and I only have 24 hours in a day. No matter how hard you hustle, no matter how hard or good you edit, you have a time limit on how long you can do that. But
mm-hmm.
now, if I can duplicate myself to one other person, I, as a human being or as a company, as a brand, now
Yeah.
have 48 hours. If I do another person, I have 72. If I do another person, it goes
Mm,
on and on and on. And so once I learned how to really do that, I escaped that level three of freedom, or what I thought was freedom, because I was making good money doing it myself. We
yeah.
got Hard Rock Stadium, we got Bacardi, we got Denny's, we got Morgan Freeman, we got
Come
mad
on.
people under our belt, where it was me out there shooting. It was me out there doing the work. It was me
Mm,
out there hustling. It was me out there making the connections. But I had no time. I had
facts.
no time. No matter what I did, no matter what money I would have to take a break. And in me personally taking a break,
Mm-hmm.
my business would lose money because I'm not out there hustling. And
Yeah.
so that's when I hit level four, which is purpose. What is your purpose here?
Mm,
What are you here to do? And that's really having conversations with God, having conversations with the universe, having conversations with yourself,
mm-hmm.
understanding what you're put here for. And I've always been a leader. And so, really following my path to leadership, I
Mm-hmm.
said, yo, a leader got to lead. I can't be out there just moving and grooving. It's one thing to lead from the front lines, but it's another thing to be able to lead from the back lines as well. You can't always
Sheesh.
be on every front line. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? A lot of people like, oh, I'm out there in the trenches with my guys. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get taken out, will your guys be able to survive?
Nope.
And so we got to really take that with a grain of salt. There's certain
Mm-hmm.
battles that you got to be able to pick and choose. And most of them, you're not going to be on the front lines. You're not cannon fodder. You know what I'm saying? And neither are
Yeah.
your guys, but they need somebody to put them in position to win. And so once you start to enter your purpose,
Mm-hmm.
you hit a whole new level, my brother.
No, that's real. That's real. And that's gonna help a lot of people. For those people, including myself, working a 9 to 5, hustling as a solopreneur, running a side business, side hustle. In your opinion, when is the right time to leave that 9 to 5? Is it like a monetary thing? Is it okay, my business has reached this certain status? Like when would you kind of say the right time, just in your opinion, to leave that 9 to 5?
Got to look at time for what time is. Time is also infinite and time is short,
Mm-hmm.
because in our lives, we have lifespans. We're not going to live forever, but time
Facts.
still goes on. And so when you keep that in mind, am I making something that lives beyond me? Does it matter what happens if I'm
Mm,
still here? Does it not matter what happens if I'm here or not? If I'm running my business or not? If I'm the leading factor for my business or not? So
mm-hmm.
quit, don't quit, just depends on what path you choose. I mean, if
Yeah.
you have a solo path where you're the only person in your business running your stuff, God forbid, but life happens.
Mm-hmm.
Incidental car accidents happen. We have mass shootings. We're in a day and age where mass shootings happen. All that kind
Yeah.
of thing happen. And so you could be here today, gone tomorrow. Is your business set up to function without you?
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, then you probably shouldn't quit the job.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So when it comes to that sales or to providing a service, providing value, what is the new secret sauce? Because you said you changed. You don't no longer sell, you provide. So what's the secret sauce for that change switch, if that makes sense?
Secret sauce is mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding and developing mindset. As I grew as a personal human being, so did my business. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I always teach that there's four systems to mindset. You have your emotional mindset, you have your physical mindset, you
Mm-hmm.
have your mental mindset, and then you have your financial mindset. And you can't often focus on your financial mindset if your first three are not in tune. And so a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people might have strenuous situations where, oh man, I'm just barely making ends meet and I'm trying to do this and that, or they not operating or eating properly, or they're not thinking about the right things, and yet they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to get to the bag. It's not going to happen. And
Yeah.
if it does happen, it's not going to stay. And so we have to
Mm-hmm.
understand that this is what yin and yang is. This is what harmony is. This is what balance is understanding that our mind operates financially, mentally, emotionally, physically within the same construct. And so if you're
Mm-hmm.
off in one of those categories, you're gonna have trouble in the other categories. And
Got
it's
you.
proven itself time and time again.
I just watched on Instagram. I saw a Will Smith clip, and it was like he was like, "It's such a slight difference between good and great." He
Hmm.
said that, like you mentioned, if you're not eating right, if you're not taking care of yourself, it's going to be very hard for you to be good in those other three categories. So do you kind of agree with that fallacy?
I agree with it to a certain point because, in understanding what he's saying about good and great,
Mm-hmm.
what he's more so alluding to is a level of consistency that most people never master
Yeah.
because they're not willing to lose something long enough. You
Mm-hmm.
always ask somebody, well, what do you want? And people will tell you what they want all day, but they never really tell you what they're willing to lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you start
Yeah.
to understand what people are willing to lose, you understand that most people don't even know what they are willing to lose because they're like, willing to lose. Why would I want to lose anything?
Yeah.
Because in order to gain a lot of things that you want, you got to lose something.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get rid of that hood side of me to really start to elevate in the rooms that I wanted to be in. I had
Gotcha.
to get rid of the victim mentality to really start to shine as a champion. I had to get rid of, you know, being non-consistent in order to grow a level of consistency to compound interest in my business even when things weren't going.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't missed a single episode of my podcast since we started January 2023. Every single Wednesday
Mm-hmm.
we have over 130 episodes shot, all
Come on.
physical, not a single, there's no virtual episodes. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
taken my time to sit there. I've sat across from at least 130 other people on
Yeah.
this planet to craft the conversation in some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
That's consistency. In the first year, well, I can't really say that because we made six figures our first year, but
Mm-hmm.
in the first year, early on, the first like 30, 40, 50 episodes, it wasn't anything for it. And here I am, I'm paying for a studio. I'm paying
Mm-hmm.
for an engineer. I have an assistant. I came into the business $0, making nothing,
Mm-hmm.
hiring people already because I
Wow.
already understood from my seven-figure production company, hey, I'm not trying to hustle in this industry. I may not know what this industry is 100%, but I also know what it looks like to start from the bottom, and I'm not I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to start from the bottom because
Yeah.
then I'm going to attract bottomness. I'm going to start as an established,
Come on with
podcast.
that
And
professionalism.
with me doing it, we hit the mics, we hit the cameras, we hit the studio, we hit the lights, we hit the background, we hit the whatever. We
Mm-hmm.
did the promos, and we would be considered in the red. But you have to also understand the red is not really red for somebody who has a vision.
Because you're still
Amazon,
going. Mm-hmm.
Jeff Bezos was, I think, he had went on, I think, Jimmy Kimmel Live. It's a clip on YouTube. He had went on like Jimmy Kimmel Live and
Yeah.
got laughed at by the whole crowd because he was like, "You're proud to be negative 300 million in debt." He's like, yeah, we're growing our debt. And everybody was laughing at him because they were like, "You're now the biggest company with the most debt ever." And he had a vision for it. Now
Mm-hmm.
he's one of the richest people on the planet.
Come
You
on.
know what I'm saying? And so me being in the red as far as investing back into the podcast, we now have two engineers, we have two assistants,
Mm-hmm.
I just finished looking at a spot yesterday to upgrade my studio to a 1,400 square feet spot. You
Come
know
on.
what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm going in the red for it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's okay because it's made money. We've made six figures in that business, but how we got there is understanding where we needed to go.
Got you. Got you. So pinpointing, because I'm real big on like applicable game.
Hmm.
And when you said that you made a switch, you said that you went from being non-consistent to consistent.
Yep.
You made a lot of changes. Go back to that moment. What was your specific why that put that hustle in your back, that put that battery in your back, that made you make that change? Because I feel like everybody needs to have that certain why to get them going, get them pushing. When things get hard, like you said, when the first 30, 40 episodes aren't making money, why you're continuing to push? Was it a why? Was it a certain vision? What was that for you personally?
I've never had a why. I have a why not, and my thought process has always been why not me. You
Yeah,
know, my entire life, especially from growing up, like I've been shot, I've been stabbed, like I've been in some real adversities in life.
yeah.
And in me doing all of that type of stuff, like everybody would be like, oh, you're not going to make it. Oh, you're not going to do this and that. Oh, you'll be in jail. Oh, you'll probably be dead by this age. Oh, you do this, you do that. And it turned
Mm-hmm.
into, why can't I make that then?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not me? Why? Because I'm this way right now because I didn't know anything else at the moment. But
Mm-hmm.
as I started to grow and work on myself, as I started to hang around different people, as I started to question more things, I
Yeah.
grew. And that became even more of a question. Why are you saying that I can't do this right now?
Mm-hmm.
And it was my mother. My mother was the main one. 2018, September 2018. And I've said this on several podcasts, when I went to go open my production company, I was excited and I was telling her about it because I got kicked out at 16. I got expelled from high school for fighting, like the whole
Mm-hmm.
9 yards. I was bad. I was one of those kids that was
For
outside
sure.
bad. And she was on the phone with me and she laughed. I told her I was going to open my production company and she laughed in my face and she said, "Hey,
Mm.
you're not going to get in magazines. You think you're going to get with celebrities? Like you think you're going to get, these all
Right.
shows, movies, all of this type of stuff."
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just really thinking about it. And my only answer was like, why not? And that's the last I spoke to my mom. I've never talked to her again since then. And we have to understand that sometimes the person that holds you back is one of the closest people to you. And
That's
that's
real.
okay. And you have to be able to transcend that barrier and stay consistent with that barrier. Of course, I want a relationship with my mom, but you have to understand that's another human being and what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't want me to win because that wasn't her reality.
Yeah.
She wasn't living a life that I was living. She wasn't going through the same things that I was doing. And so I don't know. We grow up and we put a lot of assumptions on our parents, but our parents had us. And they
Mm-hmm.
definitely didn't have us perfect. And so I don't know what I ruined in her life to not make her follow her dream or do her steps or do whatever. And all I know was the aggression that she took out towards me. And
Gotcha.
that triggered my why not. And
Mm-hmm.
since then, we got the magazines. We're in Vibe magazine. We're in Forbes magazine. We're in Elements magazine 3 times. We have publications. We got the Morgan Freeman. We have a featured film with Yao Agupong Productions. We have
Mm-hmm.
Hard Rock Stadium. We have Bacardi. We have Denny's. We have Rolling Loud. We have South by Southwest. We just
Yeah.
finished Essence Fest. We have all of that stuff now. And so everything that she said I wasn't going to get, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Why
I
not?
questioned why not?
Yeah.
Why not me? And it wasn't a solid why. I didn't have like a crazy. I mean, I do have a crazy backstory, but instead of developing my why, I started to develop my why not because
Mm-hmm.
I deserve it too. If somebody else out there can make it and I simply want it, why not? I don't
Mm-hmm.
need to have a crazy old reason why not. If I want it, why not?
Mm-hmm.
That's
No,
it.
that's deep, bro. That's deep for real. Why not me? Like you said, if you put in that work, you hustle for it, why not you?
Yep.
That's huge, man. That's huge. I just got a couple more questions for you, Rich. As far as your journey, you've been in many different industries, like you said, the production industry. You were, went to school for art. You know, and to talk about now you're in the podcasting lane, entrepreneurship, helping people. What's the best piece of advice that you've given or heard? Or you can give both.
It's the best piece of advice that I've given or heard.
Mm-hmm.
Best piece of advice I've given and heard because I started to give it immediately after I heard it was
Gotcha.
to was to follow your own path, man. We
Mm-hmm.
live in a world where there's a million ways to do a million things. There's a million ways to make $1 million. You're gonna have people that come up to you, oh bro, you don't have life insurance yet? Oh bro, you're not your own bank yet? Oh bro, you're not in credit yet? Oh bro,
Mm-hmm.
you're not buying real estate yet? Oh bro, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Like,
Uh,
bro, you're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it. Especially if you're in entrepreneurship, you're gonna hear it.
mm-hmm.
And follow what you feel is right to you,
Yeah.
and that's okay. I had people look at me crazy when I'm like, "Yeah, I don't like real estate." You're like, "What? Real estate is you don't want crypto? You don't?" Nah, bro. I don't care for it. Like I
Uh.
genuinely don't think about it. It doesn't make me, lose sleep at night. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what I want to do. What I want to do is create businesses and help community. And that's
Yeah.
what I do. We have 54 people in ROV Productions that are within the black community, especially that I've taken people out of 9 to 5s.
Yeah.
They full time. I pay multiple six figures a year to my people. My people are there. You know what I'm saying? They're real people. These aren't VAs that are overseas in the Philippines and doing this and that or whatever. Like a lot of
For
people
sure.
talk about community and don't have footprint in community. What are you doing back for the community? I'm not somebody that's going to be outside protesting. I'm not somebody that's going to be going for the political route. I'm not somebody that's going to be on social media, Twitter fingering about Biden or Trump or whoever. But
Mm-hmm.
I will be creating my businesses and employing people that I consider for my community.
Come on. Follow your own path. Like you said,
Mhm.
there's many other ways to make a million. There's many ways to achieve that happiness, achieve that financial freedom that you mentioned. Follow your own path. See, try a lot of different things, like as you did with mini production, a lot of different journeys that you traveled upon. Try a lot of different things. See what works, whatever kind of naturally feels good to you. Double down on that thing. Stay consistent
Down.
with it and see what happens. So, in your opinion, like I said, I got this one just popped in my head though. So, how long did you do the production company?
It's still going.
Oh,
I stopped using the camera maybe about almost like 3.5 years ago now. Three and a half,
mm-hmm.
4 years ago. Yeah.
Got
That's when I decided to put the hustler to rest.
you. Got you. So, we got you on FY Fly, man. We can't let you leave without asking you our famous final question. So, I'm going to say two quotes, and I need you to let me know which one is more accurate in your opinion, all right? All right, so the first one is more money, more problems. You'll feel that being from New York. Shout out, Big.
Fact.
and the second one is money can't buy happiness. Which one do you believe is more accurate in your opinion?
I had to choose one of them.
Yup, either or. It's a coin toss.
Okay, more money, more problems.
All right. Why is that one more accurate?
Because the average human being, including myself, we seem to want more when more money is involved. And
Mm-hmm.
so, what could make us happy over $100 when we didn't have it won't make us happy when we have it. You know what I'm saying? We always
Yeah.
chase the next thing, and we always chase the next high. It's like when a dog gets the bone that he's looking for. Now it's like, what's next? And
Facts.
so more problems start to develop naturally, which is why a lot of millionaires commit suicide because
Mm-hmm.
they have all the money in the world, but they're not happy because they don't know who they are personally. And
Mm-hmm.
so problems start to create themselves.
So it sounds like you agree with both, low key.
I do agree with both. That's why I was like, damn, I got to choose one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You say both of them accurate.
yeah, man.
Hey, Rich, man. Thank you so much for joining the FY Fly podcast, brother. If you have any final words, any final takeaways, go ahead and also let them know where they can reach and contact
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, as a final word is make sure you tap in with Sonny, man. This is a genuine dude. This is a man that's on a mission. He's gonna lead you the right way. He has charisma, he has authenticity, he has knowledge, and it's easy for you to believe in what he has going on because of how he presents himself. And so I don't even want you to tap in with me if you're not tapped in with him. You can follow me on at Real MoneyBag Rich, but my only call to action is do more for yourself.
you.
Don't think about coaching with me yet. Don't think about whatever. I mean, you can do it if you want to. You can buy a course if you want to. I'm not here to sell anything. Again, I've passed that point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Follow if you like the vibes, but only come for the vibes. Don't seek my knowledge yet. Seek inner knowledge first. And once you
Mm-hmm.
learn more about yourself, then we could probably have a conversation.
Come on, man. Come on. Man, I think we dropped a lot of great gems here today for the folks listening. In my opinion, if we can take some of these, you don't have to do everything that we talked about here today, but if you can choose one to two things that we talked about and start to implement them today, I promise you there will be a large change, a large result for you over time. So again, Rich, thank you so much, bro. This was amazing. And for all my fly folks, y'all already know we need y'all to stay safe, stay invested, and stay FYI fly. We'll see y'all next week.